What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
UFC 236 just happened last night. Well, as I record this from Atlanta, Georgia, headlined by Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. Co-headline Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum. Both fights were for interim belts. Poirier, Holloway. Holloway went up from featherweight to fight lightweight against Dustin Poirier. Poirier been on a run since moving to lightweight. Holloway destroying everybody at featherweight. And then Adesanya, of course, big up-and-comer in the middleweight division. Gastelum, supposed to have fought for the belt. I think multiple times he's been right there. More recently, he was supposed to fight for the belt with Whitaker. Whitaker had to pull out because his guts were trying to escape from inside of his body. The Adesanya-Gastelum fight, probably one of the best fights I've ever seen. Like, just such a crazy back-and-forth fight, a war. Adesanya had to, survive at times, but in the end, got the decision. I actually thought my memory of it, now granted, I was intoxicated, highly intoxicated while watching these fights. I started a little bit too early and was enjoying the fights a little bit too much, but I thought they had stopped the fight, but as I thought about it a little bit more, I was like, I thought they should have stopped the fight. It looked like it was going to be stopped towards the end of the fifth round, but Gastelum was able to survive to the bell, but the judges got it right in that one, and Adesanya got the win. Big win for him. I mean, Gastelum is no joke. Gastelum hit him with a bunch of shots, but Israel just his style was he was able to avoid just enough. I mean, his face looked like John Jones after the first Gustafsson fight, just all swollen up. But big win for Adesanya. Huge, super excited for that against Robert Whitaker. And they're both, I think they're both from New Zealand. And then I think they both maybe train in Australia. But that'll be a huge, huge fight when they unify those belts. Poirier versus Holloway. Holloway looked, it was a case of power versus volume. Holloway was landing by far the most volume, as he does, just great combinations, but not putting a lot of energy into it, kind of like the Diaz brothers in a way, just as far as the volume. Style-wise, a little bit different. But Holloway definitely got the volume, but Poirier got the power, and he landed on I've never seen Holloway rocked. Holloway was rocked. This is a fight just like the Adesanya-Gastelum fight, where it was not an easy fight for either opponent. It was a tough fight for both opponents. Both were great fights. Both went to a decision, but it wasn't like a boring fight at all, because it was, you never know who could either fighter, any of these four fighters could have come back at any moment and have. But bummed. I wanted Holloway to win. Poirier won, of course. Congrats to him. I'm looking forward to him fighting Nurmagomedov. And Nurmagomedov, yes, he has the belt. Yes, he's undefeated. But look at the dude's resume. He's beat the only names he's actually beat that are like fighters that are like well-rounded and like championship level. Conor McGregor, and who else did he fight? I mean, he fought Al Iaquinta, which he's up there. I don't know if, he fought him on short notice it's just like you fought a short notice fight to get the belt. So you didn't even beat like a top contender in the weight class. You fought a guy on short notice who he was going to fight he was going to fight Holloway on short notice. But then, so McGregor is kind of the most elite that Khabib has fought. I mean, I guess Michael Johnson was a tough one for him a little bit. And same thing with, so I guess he's beaten some people. Still not super, I get it. He just needs to, he hasn't fought the tough. It's a stacked division, and he's kind of, for his style, fought kind of the easiest guys so far. But Poirier, very similar to like a Michael Bisping as far as just he went the long grind way to get to the belt, and I'm excited to see him fight it. He can win it. He can win it 100%. I hope he does. It would just make my day if Poirier became the lightweight champion, and then have Holloway, McGregor at lightweight. You could do that, or Holloway can go back down to featherweight. Roundtree, let me go over my picks here. So I got Poirier wrong. Holloway, I picked Holloway, but Poirier won. Adesanya, I got right. I think I chose Roundtree. I forgot to write my picks down. But I believe I had Roundtree over Anders. Roundtree came out with a crazy Muay Thai style for that first round to get like crazy leg kicks on Anders. Just a good fight. Grant beat Joban. I had picked Joban. And I thought that went to a decision. I thought Joban did enough to win that one, but he didn't get the nod. Krylov subbed OSP, and I had picked OSP, so I didn't get that right. But overall, a fun night of fights. I came in right around Bilal Muhammad, so towards the end of the last fight of the early prelims versus Curtis Millender. That was a good fight. Wasn't super paying attention, kind of getting dinner ready at that point. But yeah, all those fights, a lot of fun, especially for the main card for ESPN's first pay-per-view. I thought it was a lot of fun, man, and it was those two, that Israel versus Gaslam fight. I tell you, if you missed it, it'll be on replay soon, I'm sure, especially leading up to the Adesanya Whitaker fight. But that one is just one of those classic fights, if not the main card itself. So moving on to picks real quick for the next upcoming UFC from St. Petersburg, Russia, headlined Alistair Overeem versus Alexei Oleinik. Not super familiar with all of these names, so I'm just going to be making picks, kind of guessing, but it's in Russia, so there's a lot of, Dagestanis are dominating the UFC. Russians are everywhere in the UFC and doing well. So even though I don't recognize some of these names, they could be killers. And I just, it's tough. There's so many fighters. But the headline, I'm going to go with Oleinik over Overeem. They both have super long careers. Overeem has been up and down. Oleinik's only lost a few times recently. But I think they're both former Muay Thai guys. I'm taking a leap going with Oleinik. I would normally go with Overeem, but for some reason, I think maybe Oleinik is kind of on a rise right now, and he's got some momentum. Could be wrong, but I got Oleinik. Then I have Islam Makhachev versus Amar Surkhan. Then I have, who do I have next? I have Pavlovich over Galm. I've got Devin Clark over Strykov. I have Roxanne Modafferi. That one I'm going with my heart over Antonina Shevchenko, the sister of Valentina. So I don't know. Roxanne getting better on her stand-up, but she's really good at jiu-jitsu. I'm a huge fan of hers, so I hope she wins and does well. And then in the middleweight, the first fight on the main card, which is an ESPN card from top to bottom, I got Jotko over Ahmed Dovsky. Yeah, so Jotko, Roxanne Modafferi, Devin Clark, Pavlovich, Makhachev, and Oleinik. Those are my picks. Probably be a fun card. Looking forward to it. It is 420 on this fight card, so I will be smoking a lot of weed, and I hope you are too. Enjoy the fights. That's it for this episode. New episodes come out daily. Subscribe on IGTV and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. InspiredDisorder.com for all of my original artwork. Go buy some paintings now at Ray Taylor for me on all social media. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!